Hi,
Hi, it's good to see you.
nice to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy belated New Year. As I, yeah, it's funny. It's an arbitrary date, right? We just picked it as humans, and the planet doesn't care that we think it just started over again. It's just continuing to spin. But yeah, it's the new year. All right. So we were talking about, well, we were touching on comfort and discomfort, and it's been showing up a lot lately. There's so much going on in the world that has people anxious or clients that I have who are impacted by changes that are going on. And I had a conversation this week with a friend about the difference between surface level discomfort, you know, the tag in the back of your shirt's itching your neck, or itching your neck, or um, and deep discomfort, deep pain, right, of whatever kind. And I think it was kind of an interesting conversation about when you're deeply rooted, when you're grounded deeply, you have more room to be surfaced uncomfortable. Like it doesn't matter as much, or it's easier to be that. But um sometimes that surface discomfort isn't just necessary, it's beneficial.
Mhm. You know, when you just mentioned the word about being
Yeah.
grounded, I instantly thought about my core
Yeah.
and I got down in my core, right?
Yeah.
In my belly, and my body just naturally shifted up. And
Yeah.
I'm um I'm more comfortable now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier I I wasn't um comfortable.
Yeah.
Um in my situation,
Yeah.
play emotionally, uh,
Yeah.
because I didn't think I was even going to do the call, and I had to take a few more minutes.
Yeah. Feeling that uncomfortable,
Yeah,
whatever that discomfort. Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny to me how we forget that our body is listening, right? And
yeah,
so you say the word grounded or someone says it around you and your body goes, "Oh, we're doing that." And it does it, and
yeah.
it was capable of doing it before, but like you can remind your body to do things. You can remind you like we want to I have a
Well,
practice that is like that
that's what I was
where
going to say. We've been practicing this. I've been practicing this for 20 years,
right, exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
the word grounded is like I said, I automatically go down in my core,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, you go to that place.
Yeah.
So
And
for my birthday, I decided to shake up my morning routine. And so for the last because it's a form of New Year, right? When those little dates that mark something. And so for the last 7 days, I have been going outside during the right at sunrise and doing breath work and meditation and prayer and grounding. So even though it's a lot of those mornings it was freezing cold, one of those mornings it was rainy and wet, um, taking my shoes off and that form of grounding, the actual contact with the surface of the earth. So it's interesting how many ways grounding can show up.
Mhm.
There's the physical electromagnetic grounding of you're an electromagnetic creature and the planet is got charges and it kind of makes sense to make contact with that occasionally. Um, or what you were talking about where your body goes, no, we know where stable is, or
Yeah.
we know where the
Did
core
it
is.
again. You
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
stable. It's like,
Just like, mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
And it when I take my shoes off and it's 32 degrees outside, which isn't
mm,
terrible, but I start to feel it. My toes start to get cold. It's that discomfort for a reason. Like it makes sense to do that.
Mm.
It's worth the investment in the it's worth the discomfort to do that. Um, versus the unnecessary suffering we put ourselves through. I was thinking about that this morning. Like one of my prayers yesterday was, um, deliver me from the unnecessary suffering so that I have the strength to go through the stuff that's worth doing.
Mm.
How much drama or self-inflicted whatever that stands in the way of us having the resilience to do what we want to do or what
Mm.
we feel called to do. I sometimes when I'm doing training, I'll talk about, you're going to be uncomfortable. Are you investing in the right discomfort? You know, like, so
Mm.
you, if you exercise, right? Exercise is uncomfortable potentially, but how uncomfortable are you going to be if you don't exercise? Like, which discomfort are you going to choose?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
And being in a discomfort, um, thought, how long are we going to be in that thought
Yeah.
and choosing, right? Bringing the awareness in
Hmm.
to choose something different. And it could only take like a split second too. Like you get a discomfort thought. It's like, but as the observer, right, we can say, no, I don't even want to think that. Shift my thought, right?
Well,
And
yeah, yeah, or maybe not. Maybe I do want to be this is uncomfortable, but it's worth it. I got two pieces of news this week. One about a client that I probably won't be able to continue working with, and one about a colleague who is stepping down from a board that I serve on. And it hurts. It hurts. Like my stomach hurts a little bit thinking about it. But I don't want to not think about it. I don't want to feel gratitude. I don't want to not feel the gratitude for having had the opportunity to do what we did with each of those people. I don't want to not think about how much I wish them well in the next phase of what's going on. But in order to do that, I have to feel sad.
yes,
I'm choosing to be uncomfortable because I could very easily just go la 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 la. I'm not thinking
yeah,
about that. So I'm choosing to accept it's not I'm choosing to be uncomfortable. I'm choosing to accept the discomfort because there's something bigger in it.
yeah. Okay.
But it's the choice, right? It's the choice because sometimes you don't need to make that choice. You don't need to be uncomfortable. Somebody told you you should feel shame. Somebody told you you should be upset. Whatever.
Mm.
That's a choice. It's that in art, it's worth feeling the discomfort, that it's worth feeling the sadness, which is not always a comfortable emotion,
Mm.
in
But
order
what's
to
the
really
difference?
celebrate.
Yes, but what's the distinction like with the thought and the emotion, right? So the thought comes first,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then the emotion. Um,
And then my response to it, which is it's not comfortable.
yeah,
And I'm not going to hold on to it. I'm not going to let it root and be sad all day. But in order to stay there long enough to feel the gratitude and to the
yeah,
well wishes and the whatever,
yeah,
I do need to stay with the sadness for a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very important to feel it to the fullest so it can be released. But if you could get down in your core, right,
Yeah.
consciously bringing that awareness, groundedness, and acknowledging, the emotion that's coming up, the mood that's coming up because of that thought,
Yeah.
it won't stick as long.
Well, it might stick around, but it's not going to stick past its usefulness or its validity it's when the rooted emotion, the one that starts to take over your response and it's no longer relevant.
Yeah,
It's so dangerous, or so not helpful.
and you don't need to
Um,
react.
yeah. Because when you said like get grounded, so I was,
Mm.
doing that as you were saying that, and the sadness was still there, so I'm not done with it. But
Mm.
it helps to be grounded. I don't feel buffeted by the sadness. It just is still there. Okay, so I'm still feeling it. That's fine. That's fine. I'll probably feel it off and on for a while. Those were both really important working relationships that the person's not gone, but the working relationship changes and the frequency of contact or whatever will change. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not, this is a, what I'm hearing is this is a very complicated issue that um, it's a dance. There's a dance with discomfort. Doing your breathing exercise and you're in the phase where you're holding your lungs empty. Not always comfortable, but beneficial and what I'm here to do and those kind of things in service of being able to do that more. Building up lung capacity, building up the ability to call on that lung capacity, really being in your system.
Being
Yeah.
the observer of ourselves,
Yeah.
of the self,
Yeah.
being the self, taking a look on how to take a look.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So I wonder if you get really good at being uncomfortable, if the reward isn't just bigger things that are more uncomfortable. I'm reading a book right now by a guy who's like an outdoor adventure person, and it feels like every time he accomplishes something, he goes and he tortures himself with something even harder to do because he's gotten comfortable with that discomfort, so off he goes. Um, yeah, the next big thing.
We have
So what are you going to do that's uncomfortable this week?
we have 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do that's uncomfortable this week?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Um, I'm gonna be full self-expression.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that can be very uncomfortable. I can see how
yeah.
that would be. Yeah,
I'm gonna allow myself to fully express and honoring myself and therefore honoring the other, being authentic
yeah,
and yeah, see what wants to emerge
yeah.
from there, what possibilities, who I am being, who I am becoming
Nice.
in that moment,
Which could be scary or could be,
liberating.
yeah. Hmm,
What are you
nice.
gonna do?
Well, this morning routine that I'm playing with involves several different opportunities for deliberate discomfort. Like
We
I said, the
have less than a
bottom,
minute left. It's
the
gonna,
the
this is
yeah,
uncomfortable.
I'm going out at sunrise to sit in the cold every
Oh,
morning this week. That's what I'm doing that's uncomfortable.
oh wow, right on. Okay.
So thank you. This was good. Helpful.
Thank you. All right.
I'll see you soon. Take care.
Chat with you next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
Bye.